Hello everyone, welcome back. So guys, in this video we are going to see the topic that is dynamic routing with React Router. Guys, this is a very important concept and I can say this is the most asked or one of the most important interview questions also when it comes to React Router. Okay, so first of all let us see what are the topics that we are going to discuss about in today's video. First of all, we will be understanding what is a dynamic route, then we will be making a product list page, and then we will be making a product details page, and then we will be setting up the dynamic routing for our product list page. Okay, and finally we are going to see an interview question. So guys, before we start, if you are new, consider subscribing to the channel and also make sure to check this React Router playlist that I am creating on my channel. So guys, in order to explain you what is actually a dynamic route, let me give you one example, okay, and a use case also. See guys, dynamic route is nothing but a route which will display in this way. Okay, like we have products, okay, and then for products also we have multiple products. So I want to see product number 5. So when I do something like this, then it will show me product number 5. Okay, this is called as dynamic route. Now why are we saying this as dynamic route? Let us suppose this use case that what we are going to build today is a products page. Okay, this product page has multiple products listing as of now. Okay, currently it is very less. Okay, for our understanding purpose I'm just creating 5, but in a fully fledged application it can be like thousands of products that can be there on a single page, or thousands or hundreds, whatever you can say. So there, like, hard coding every single path in the URL is not at all possible. Like, there is another way also. What you can do is, for this 5 you can set up 5 different routes, okay, manually in your app.js, and then also it will work. But see, if you have like thousands of products listing, then it is not feasible, right, to write 1000 routes for that. So in this case dynamic routing comes into picture. Okay, there what we have is we have relative routes. Okay, now what is relative route? For example, we have this product list page. When I click on this products button, this product list page gets rendered and we can see a list of products here. Now when I click on this particular product, what I want is my another page should re-render. Okay, should render, and in that page what should happen is the details about this particular product should be there. Okay, and not anything else should be there. For example, when I click on burger, a new product details page is opened. This is the total different component, and in this one I can even see the details of my product. Okay, like for example the ID. And how am I getting this ID? I am getting this ID from the URL. Okay, and when I click on back, I am again back to this page. So guys, this is very easy. Okay, when we will implement, you will understand it better. So let's now move on to our code editor and let's start. So first of all, let me start my server. Okay, so npm run dev, this will open it on localhost. Okay, now I will show you first of all. So we are here. Okay, till last video we have created this much. Okay, that we have created tutorials page, but as I explained you, in this video we are going to create a products page. So as a first step, let's create a products link in the navbar. Okay, so here is our navbar, and till tutorials we have created. So let me create one more entry in the navbar, okay, which will say to products. So products, and where the link should like the URL should update to, URL should say products where I click on it. Okay, products. Okay, rest everything is same. Let's see if it is working fine. See, it is working fine, but everything is sticking together. Why so? Because it is a CSS issue. We have given the width as 200, okay, to the UL. Instead of it, if I'll increase the width, everyone will get its own space and everything will be fine. See, now we are on tutorials page. When I click on products page, if you see, it will give an error page as of now because we have not defined the route yet. But notice that our URL is getting updated properly. Now let's set up the route for this page. Okay, so how we will set up the route? In order to set up the route, we have to set up the route in this app component. But before that, we will be needing a component for products page, right? So what I will do is I will create a new component which will say products.jsx. Okay, quickly we will create some simple component here, saving it and going to app.js, and let's set up the route for it. Okay, so this is like this we are setting under our layout, which is navbar. So route, and this is a self closing one. Okay, and here what we are going to give the element as the new product page which we have created just now. Okay, and in path section what I need to give the URL. Okay, then if it matches this URL, then show this element. Okay, so products, saving this file. Let's see if it is working. See, it is already working. I'm on tutorial. When I click on products, it is showing me this products component. Now let us set up the UI for the products page first of all, and then we will be moving forward slowly. So I'm on the products page right now, and what I want is, I don't want this basic text. I want a h1 which will say products list page. Okay, saving this, and I also want everything to be in the center, so I am just going to start like add inline styling, and I'm going to say text align and then center. Okay, let's see if this much is working fine or not. See, we got a proper product list page heading, and then now our duty is to show like 5 to 6 products, right, as I showcased you in the demo. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my own data. Okay, how the data is going to look like, I'm going to create an array basically. So the name of the array is going to be products, and then this is an array. What this array will contain, okay, this array will contain objects in itself basically, and what the object will have two data basically. One is the ID of the product, and the other is name of the product. Okay, so for example, we are showing the products as food items, so my first food item is pizza. Okay, in the same way I will create like 5 entries for the products. Okay, so the second one maybe is like fries. Okay, and then something like burger, you can give any names, and then like Coke. Okay, and then like momos, anything. Okay, now we are going to give separate IDs for everything. Okay, because IDs are very much important, as I told you. IDs needs to be unique basically. Okay, now we have created this products array. Now we are going to show this on our product list page. Okay, so how are we going to do? We are just going to simply map over it. So products dot map, and then inside the map, one by one we will be getting the product. So I will write it here as product. Okay, this will give us one by one product, and then I will be creating one wrapper div. Okay, inside this I will be showing my products data. Now before that, I want to add a key over here. Key should be unique, so our unique value of ID will be helpful over here. This much is good. Now I want to show my product name, right? So what I will do is I will write like S3, and inside that I will write a link. Why I'm writing a link? Because I want the product name to be clickable, right? I showed you in the demo that when I click on that product link, it should redirect me to another page, which is product details page, right? So we also have to write that functionality later on. So that is why I'm creating it as a link as of now only. So what I'm going to write in this one is product dot name. Okay, let's see so far it is working or not. Okay, I have not imported the link, so that is why it is showing me a blank screen. So always remember to import the things which you are using. See, now we are getting this product list, and these are links as of now. Okay, but when I click on it, it will break as of now because I have not given 2 in the link. Okay, so let's fix few things. First of all, let me give a basic inline style to the link. Okay, I don't want this underlines to be there, so I'm just removing text decoration to I'm making text decoration as none. So what will happen is these lines will be going off. Okay, now I will give a 2. Okay, now what I want that when I click on a particular this product item, what should happen? Okay, I want now from here the dynamic routing concept starts. Okay, what I want is when I click on fries, my URL should be updated to something like /products/ the ID of fries. Okay, or if I click on pizza, the ID of pizza, something like that should happen. So how I will write my 2? Okay, so in that case I will write something like /products should be there in the URL, and then one more slash should be there, and after that I want my product ID to be there. So product dot ID. Okay, let's save it and see if it is working fine. So when I click on it, just notice the URL. Okay, the page will break because we have not defined the root yet, but we have given the link 2 in the link. So the URL should update properly. So when I click on pizza, you can see it is giving me the ID of the pizza, which is 1. Again, when I go to products page and click on fries, it should give me the ID 2. So far it is working good. Okay, now what is the next step that we want? I want to create a separate page which will render when I click on a particular entry. Okay, and that page should display the details of my particular product. Okay, like the pizza related things, it should show those details. Okay, that what all the things that pizza will contain, maybe like the price of the pizza and quantity or something like that should display. Okay, so we want the individual page for that purpose. Now for that, again I need to create one component. Okay, so the component will be something like product details. Okay, product details dot JSX, and then we will first of all write the basic code in this one, and then now we will set up the root for it. Okay, now how we will set up the root for it, that is also important. See, I will set up the root and this will close by itself. Okay, and the element that we want to render is which one? The new one that we have created just now, the component product detail. Okay, and now how the path will look like in this case. Okay, so see guys, we have set up the path from there, right? So the path matching, how it will happen here, how we have to write it here is, we want that first of all products will be there, okay, and after that there is no fixed it is not fixed that always the id will be either 1 or either 2, right? So we cannot hard code it, right? So in this case what we will do is we will do it something like this, okay. This is called as relative path, okay. So we are just writing that id will be there, okay, and some id will come, okay, in that place. Now let's go to our product page, okay. Let's first of all see if it is working fine or not, our component is getting rendered or not. So when I click on burger, see my product details page is getting rendered. So far it is going good, but now our next duty is what? That from this URL, this ID for a particular product, I want to showcase it on my page. How can we do that? That is also very simple. Okay, so let me go to my product details page only. First of all, let me make it proper. So I'm just removing it, giving it a H1, and I'm saying it as products product details page, okay. So we have created this H1, and again I will make it center, so it's inline style, text align center, saving it, seeing it, it is looking proper, okay. So we are on the product details page and it is in the center. Now basically I want one more line to be there. What it should say is the product ID is, okay, product ID is, and the ID should be dynamically, we have to get it from the URL, right? Here the product ID should be mentioned. Now how we will get that? Okay, see, as of now this text is displaying. Now how we will get that ID? So it is all very simple. Basically from React router we have a hook called as use params that we get. So what I will do is I will create a const variable which should, like, you can name it anything according to you. So I'm just naming it as like param ID, and then we will get a hook, as I told you, right? Use params. Okay, this hook will help us in getting that URL data. Okay, now before we directly use this ID, I want to console log it and showcase to you that what we are getting in our param ID variable. Okay, so I'm saving it and I'm going to take you to inspect tool console, and you can see we are getting an object when we are console logging this param ID. Okay, let's see what we are getting in this one. See, we are getting the ID, that is this dynamic thing that we are adding at the end. We are getting this when we are making use of use params, right? So now our work is very easy. Basically we are getting an object, and in that object our ID is there. So what I will do is I will use this param ID const that I have, okay, and I will write dot ID. This should give me the ID of a particular product, okay, and I think now it is working fine. Let's go to home first of all, and let's go to our products page. When I click on products page, my products listing are showing, okay, which was our step 1. And then what I did was, when I click on a particular product, my URL should be updated with the dynamic ID of that particular product. Okay, so as soon as I click on it, my URL is updating, as well as my next component is rendering, which is my product details page. And on my product details page, what I'm doing is I'm getting the ID from my URL and displaying it on my page, okay, using use params. Guys, this is very important because this is only what is dynamic routing. When you have thousands of data coming in from API, you need to showcase it something like this, because you cannot write like, see, this in this current scenario, since our products are only 5, I could have even hard coded everything, and I could have even set up 5 routes, okay, in my app.jsx. What I could have done is, instead of this, I could have done something like this also. Okay, let me show you. See, for small 5 entries, it would have been totally fine. Okay, it would have been totally fine in case of a small project or just 5 entries, but this is not feasible. Okay, and you cannot write these kinds of routes. Okay, so that is why dynamic routing is very important when you have multiple entries. Okay, I hope you have understood this one. Let's now get back to our slide and let's see what we have covered so far. So guys, first of all, we have seen what is a dynamic route. I have explained you that with an example. We have created our product list page. Okay, and then we have also created our second page, which was the product details page. So when I click on any entry from the product list page, it is taking me to a product details page where we are setting up our dynamic routing and we are showcasing the ID of a particular product on the product details page. So this much we have done so far. Okay, now is the time for to discuss one important interview question for today. So the interview question for today is, what are route prefixes and how do they work in React router? Okay, now before we directly read this answer, I want to explain you practically. Okay, and then we will come back to this answer so that you will understand it better. Okay, so what are route prefixes first of all? So guys, let us understand that what is the word prefix means. Okay, prefix means adding something at the starting of a word. Okay, for example, I have this name as page. Okay, I want to add something in the front of it, so that will be like called as prefix. Okay, like I want to add the word ABC, so ABC will be a prefix, okay, to this. So the final word will be ABC page. Okay, so that is what a word, the meaning of the word prefix is, right? Now what is root prefix? Now the root prefix is nothing but your root is like currently /about. Okay, now consider a situation that you have a website where you are showing this about details for a particular user. Okay, and you have like 10 users, so you want to have your URL something like user/about. Okay, so for like, you know, for a particular user that their own about details are showing. Basically what you are doing here is you are adding a prefix to your root. Okay, your root was about and you want to add a prefix in this case. So how you handle these types of scenarios? Okay, so let me show you. So let's go to our app component. Okay, and here where we have about and login, and I want to do this same for both of these. Okay, that when I click on about page, my URL should be like /user/about, and when I click on login, my URL should be /user/login. How do we do that? Okay, so first of all, let me cut this. Okay, and what I will do is I will create a root. Okay, and then inside that I will put it. Okay, and the path of this will be /user, which means first of all I have to go to user and then to another pages. Okay, which is my about and login. Now one more thing is it won't directly happen because in navbar we also have to set up our link path also. Okay, so let me go to my navbar, and for about and login it should be like user/about and user/login. Okay, so what happens is when I click on about, my URL will be updated with user/about, and then how the root will be set up in my app component. First of all, it will check for user, yes, and then it will like, you know, redirect me to the about or login, whichever I have clicked. Let's see if it is working or not. See, when I click on login, my user/login is working. When I click on about, my user/about is working, and it is also rendering my pages fine. Because this is a very simple concept. Okay, but this just that it is a very commonly used jargon. So you know, when you goes to interview and you just hear the word root prefix for the first time, you might think that, okay, what is this new concept? I have never read of it. So that is why instead of creating a separate video on this, I thought let me cover this in a as an interview question. Okay, so I hope now you have understood what is root prefixes. Now let us read the answer so that it will be super clear for you. So root prefixes are a way to group related roots under a common parent path in React Router. This is achieved using nested roots, right? So that is what we are doing here in our code. We are grouping different paths into a single parent, okay, which was user here in this case. Instead of repeating the full path like /user/about and /user/login individually, we can define a parent root and nest its child roots inside it. Okay, the other way of doing the same thing could be what I could have done this way also. Okay, let me show you. Like for example, if I would have not written these lines, I could have written something like this. Okay, /user/about. Okay, and the same way I could have done for login also, /user/login. In this case also it would have worked totally fine, and if I will comment this, okay, this would have worked totally fine. But you know, this is fine for just 2 entries, but it is not meaningful. It like, you know, this way it is much meaningful, and if we have multiple entries, it is you know, better to do that way. Okay, so I hope you have now understood what is dynamic routing, what is root prefixes. So guys, if you have any doubts, please put them in the comment section, and please do share your feedback about this video. How do you found the explanation? And make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video if you found it helpful. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching the video, and I will see you next time.